An interesting set of twins showed up on Reverb. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Let's go ahead and take that blur away. Look at these things. It's a Flying V Explorer combination that was sold as a set. Now, if you're not impressed yet, just wait till we get into the nitty-gritty details. They might look like black finishes from far away, but as you get them into the light, it's actually a really cool metallic green. And then we don't just have a regular white pickguard. It has the whole perloid effect. However, if we go to the title, we can learn that these are actually early 90s Gibsons. So that tells us it's likely the real deal celluloid stuff that off-gasses, shrinks, and otherwise damages your guitar. So as you flip through these photos and you see this discoloration on the case shroud, that's actually due to the off-gassing of the pickguard destroying it. You can see the Flying V is particularly bad. And down here he also says he changed out all the pickguard screws because they were tarnished from storage. Please, if you have a guitar with the real celluloid stuff on it, take it off. Do not store it in the case like that, because it'll start to eat the gold hardware. It will destroy your finish. I love my Firebird collection, but I hate it at the same time because I have to leave them with the pickguard off. Thankfully, it doesn't look like these have been stored in their case for too long though, because the gold looks alright. But moving on to the face of the headstock of the Flying V, it's kind of hard to tell, does it have the matching headstock or not? I think it's just a pure ebony finish, but your nice 3-screw truss rod cover version. And I've got to say, those frets look pretty good. I love the small dot inlays when they look like this, and that board has definitely been recently conditioned. The end of the board's a little bit chewed up, but that's probably how it left the factory. Most likely we're rocking the 496R 500T set. But moving on to the back, we can see our serial number dating it to 1993, and we've got the continuation of that metallic green finish. But now we gotta look at the Explorer. This is one I had not seen before, and I got excited because I also like to collect unique Explorers. So this one has all the same elements, and it's a nice metallic green finish with the golden tuners. Still have a 1993 serial number, so we can confirm what the seller was telling us. Definitely confirmed that it's just a regular black headstock veneer. The fretboard's not quite as dark on this one. The reason being is they probably had some oxidation on the frets from the whole off-gassing pickguard. So how much was the seller asking for these? $6,000, and it was only for sale as a set. Honestly, I didn't think it was too bad. I would have loved to have documented these. I made an offer, but it wasn't as strong as it would have been had we had one different spec on these. I was totally expecting a custom shop edition decal on the back, because that typically signified a limited edition run of some sort. And I was extra confused because I did know about this metallic green run of guitars, but I didn't know about these two models. I was more so familiar with this SG Standard, which is a really cool one with gold hardware. It's got all the same stuff going on. It's got that 68 Batwing style guard. But if you zoom in, you can see that run had the custom shop edition stamp. There's also a Les Paul Studio version out there, again with the celluloid pickguard. This is a really good photo of one to show you what that finish is capable of. I mean, this is a golden era studio with a limited edition finish. It's got the ebony fretboard. Definitely wouldn't mind having one of those. But looking on the full back, zooming into that headstock, you also have the custom shop edition decal. And Gibson continued to use that until very early 1994. I don't know why these didn't have it. It was such a letdown. Had these two also had that, would have been a no-brainer for me. But that's alright, somebody picked them up anyways and they're probably going to enjoy. But I just wanted to document that they just happened to come up in a pair. Speaking of unique 90s things to show up, look here, a Gibson Explorer bass prototype. Apparently, back in the 50s, there were a very, very small amount of Explorer basses created. I honestly didn't know about these till a little bit earlier this year, but this one is a 90s prototype of it, and it's all laid out right here in a nice little stamp. It's got a very interesting serial number, 8 for 1958, 1XX1. And it appears to be made out of all Korina, just like the original Explorers would have been. You've got your multi-piece headstock going on, except for you got a little bit bigger of a wing than a normal Explorer. But it's this headstock that just freaks me out. It reminds me of like the Futura style headstock. How things are going at all kinds of wacky, crazy angles. The fact that we've got the really thick diameter strings makes it even look more exaggerated. But I don't think it looks too bad from the full body shot. Got the one mud bucker. Totally something I could see Rick Nielsen playing on stage if he wanted to switch over into bass, that is. But if you think about it, there's the Gibson EBOs and EB3s, that's the SG body style. Then you got your EB2, which is your like 335. Don't forget about the EB1s, which are kind of like stand-up basses, violin type style. So if you try to make sense out of those numbers, like thinking chronologically, you're gonna get confused and it doesn't work out. So let's just call this thing the EB4. Ah, shoot, that's already taken. So I'm sorry, Gibson, you're making me do it. It's called the EB404 now. Typically, these things get called Explorer basses. Now, in the 80s, Gibson did bring these back, but in like a completely different way, just in case you want something similar and you don't want to absolutely raid your bank account. Because regular custom shop Explorers are expensive enough as is, let alone in a cool custom color. But this one, they were asking $35,000. It was only live for a couple of days and they ended it. Now, whether that means it sold off-site or what, I'm not sure. Typically, Gibson basses are not all that popular, but this one might just hit that niche that somebody has to have it, especially being Korina. Speaking of Explorers and really crazy out there things, Lzzy Hale comes out with a new signature Kramer. I was not expecting this in the slightest. Like her latest signature with Gibson, the Explorerbird, unfortunately did not receive a lot of love, but I love the white and black Explorer she did previously. It's called the Lzzy Hale Voyager in black diamond holographic sparkle. So now we're going this direction. This is the most blingy guitar I've ever seen, but how are you not gonna ding this thing and like chip the horns off? It gets so thin in certain areas, that would just scare me, but that is a really crazy out there finish. I just wish it didn't have a Floyd Rose so I could happily demo it. Cool lightning bolt inlays going on with a matching headstock. And obviously the back is looking good too. The price tag though, I was quite shocked. I thought that'd be like a $899 type thing, but no, it's a $1,500 type thing. So nope, not quite the baritone Explorer I'm really hoping comes out eventually. Let's just borrow that finish for that. Next up, I was really infatuated with this one. It's a 2020 Gibson Custom Shop SG in Brunswick Blue Sparkle. Looks very similar to those green ones we were just looking at with the slightly different hue. For me though, it's not necessarily just the finish, it's how well the chrome hardware works with it. And the white lining of our pickguard, the white numbers on the knobs, the binding on the neck, the inlays on the fretboard and how dark it is in comparison. Matches very well with the pickup rings and the other plastics. Now, no crazy matching headstock or anything, but it seemed to have been in pretty good shape, just very lightly used. That was a gorgeous SG, and I'm usually not a big fan of those. Doesn't surprise me that one didn't last more than 3 days. I mean, 3,500. That's about where an SG custom should be, let alone being a custom color. That was offered by Thunder Road Guitars. And now we've got 2 more left tonight. This is one of the most beautiful blonde beauties I've seen. We recently had documented one of these and I added one to my collection, but this one showed up about a week after that review and it really had me thinking that's the really wide top that I love. And it looks like it's gonna be really good in person. You flip it over to the back, the neck is also excellent. They've got the 3-piece maple. And then on top of it, even the mahogany body's got a little bit of dancing figuring going on. Now, unfortunately, somebody put a custom shop medallion on it and upgraded it to a custom shop case. So the seller thought it was a custom shop guitar, which unfortunately influenced his price. I mean, if that would have been regular blonde beauty prices, I would have bought that and swapped them out. That was a great example. But definitely at least $1,000 premium put over top of it, and it is now ended. So whether it's sold or he decided to keep it, I guess only time will tell. I'll leave it in my watch list just in case it comes back, because that was a phenomenal example. Now our last guitar for the night. I've been waiting for one of these. So it's a 90s custom shop, so 1996 would be the 3rd full year of the custom shop, 4th if you're counting the back end of 1993. Normally, I'm not a big fan of cherry sunburst clown bursts that are kind of perimeter in shape rather than teardrop. But these sparkle standards are incredibly cool in my eyes because when I was in my teen years learning a song, there was a famous guy who used one that looked very, very similar. It's Steve Stevens, you know, when he played with Billy Idol. My aunt was taking me to a wedding of my cousin. I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to learn the White Wedding song? So I had my guitar with me and it's like, yeah, how do I play it? Oh, great. The guy who plays it is going to teach us. It's still one of my favorite videos and he's using something that looks very similar to this. Now it looks like he might have changed his pickups out for something else because you can see like a line right here. Or it's possible that's just wear, but it's got the clear pick guard and his had different knobs on it. And this one has the zebra buckers. The other big difference is his has a bound headstock, which is really unusual for a standard. If anybody knows the full story behind Stevens is here, I'd love to know, because I just always assumed it was either a special order for him, or maybe there is a different run that I haven't seen pop up for sale separately that had the bound headstock and maybe an ebony fretboard and other cool stuff. Otherwise, the condition of this one, it wasn't the best. So I had made an offer, but this one was on consignment, so it wasn't quite strong enough to bring it home. We were like a couple $100 apart. And since it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, I decided just to let it go. But it didn't surprise me when it ended up selling. Alright, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day. And you might even enjoy this next one.